Hi all, it's Rich from Corsair Technology and Nosology.store. Figured I would do a quick little presentation about basic networking for people who are opening a small business. When you talk to an IT professional, sometimes they kind of talk over your head a little bit. I just wanted to give you some basics on how the network is set up when you're going to meet with them, and when they talk terminology, you might be able to use some of these terms to understand better what they're talking about. So let's move forward here, and we'll go to our first slide here. Um, so they'll use a term, maybe nodes, or that might be more of a technical term, but a node is basically something that plugs into the network. So a computer, a printer, a wireless device, anything that's connected to the network, a copy machine, and that's on the network. Wall jacks, you can see the little wall jacks, you see them on the walls where the phone line's plugged in and the patch cable that goes to your computer will be plugged into. So that's when they're going to put a drop in to run cables for the network. The cable's the wiring itself. You can see there in the diagram. It's just the wires that they run when they run the drops, and they'll put these jacks on the walls. Usually with one with the phone line, usually and one with the network jack. That one shows two network jacks. Then this next diagram here. Whoops, let me go back. Why did it do that? Just kind of shows how it's all connected, right? How all the computers are connected to each other, whether they're wireless or wired. They're all considered to be on the same network. So let's go. So patch cables. I mentioned a patch cable. Patch cable usually goes from the wall to a PC or device or a printer or copier, and they can range from 3 feet to, you can get them however long you want, 25 feet. Most common are 6 foot, 7 foot for a computer, for a desk. They also use the patch cables. There's sometimes 3 foot ones in the network room where they go from the patch panel to the switch, which is this next little black panel here you see. They'll put that on the wall in the equipment room where the internet comes in, and all your cables that they run from your desk areas in the walls, up in the ceiling, they'll come down, they'll punch them down in the back of these, and this is where all the drops come back to from the network into this little patch panel. And then you use the little patch cables, and then this switch right here on the right, this blue switch, something similar to this will be mounted on the wall next to it, and they use patch cables just like this to go from the patch panel to the switch. And that uplinks all the network equipment to that one switch. Each device on the network, or each node, will get an IP address, which I'm showing here as an example. There are a bunch of numbers. Most people don't really care about this, but an IP address, it'll get a set of numbers from the router to get it actually on the network so they can all communicate. Let's go last slide here, last two slides. This other terminology, the firewall, the router. There's different kinds of routers, different companies. I typically use Cisco, but they have 4-port, 8-port, 16-port routers, different kinds, different sizes for different situations. But that's usually what handles all the traffic on the network, gives out the IP addresses, and gives you a little bit of security too with the firewall. And then you'll see they'll talk about your internet modem, which is from your internet provider, whether you get a cable modem or you get a DSL line from a phone company. Like here we use, now it's Lumen, it was CenturyLink, or Comcast, which is cable, and they'll supply the modem, which connects from here, the modem, into the building, and then it goes to the router. The router goes to the switch, which I'll show you on the next slide here. So basically, this is kind of what a network looks like. You have your internet modem where it comes in from the outside. They'll bring that in the building. That's configured in a particular way. It gets uplinked to the router, which could be wireless or not. And then the router gets uplinked to the switch, which was where all your network cables that you come in to the office are plugged into. So your computers, your printers, the wireless would be for your phones or laptops. We don't have a game console in the office, at least most people don't. That's kind of really the basics of how a network is set up. The terminology would be good to know only because when you're talking to an IT professional and they talk about these things, you'll understand what they're talking about. And if you don't, you need to ask, because they don't know that you don't understand. Don't be embarrassed. We talk another language sometimes. But that's really it. It was a quick little video here. Both companies I have here. One is Corsair Technology, which is the company that does most of the network and computer solutions, set up servers and such on the network. We also use our other company, Nasology, which we have network attached storage units, which is what NAS stands for, which has a backup solution on site, and you can also have an option to push it off site for extra security. I have other videos on my channel. Please share and like them, subscribe to them. I would really appreciate it. If there's anything in the comments, make a comment, and it'd be great to hear if you want to see anything else that I can do a presentation on. So thanks for watching and have a great day.